Okay, so what did we learn? To develop a good educational program proposal, you must mobilize your networks to build a compelling proposal and get buy-in from clinicians. It's important to consider this point, I think, because if you are able to mobilize your network, if you are able to mobilize the internal strength, you are able to change things. The use to use the wealth of exchanges with various stakeholders to strengthen your initial idea is also a critical point, of course. We mentioned that before. We had an idea, but from the idea to the creation, it can take a long time. For us, it has been few months, so it's good. And we had to consider the work with several stakeholders, of course. The leverage this type of face-to-face training activities as an opportunity to reach out new stakeholders. It's interesting because, of course, we met during this summer school, many people that we didn't know. We had some people who were from Chypre, from several countries, and from several specialties, and it was very interesting for them to, I think, well, it seems it was the case if you consider the evaluation. But for us also, it was also interesting because it was an opportunity to discuss and to touch young clinicians, researchers, find other people from other countries, and to involve them in the ERN. Yes, dare to make proposals. So I think it's crucial. Once again, we had an idea. We wanted to, we thought that rehabilitation was a very important topic for us as patients. So we have made the proposal. We have made the proposal to co-create, to work together on the program, and that's why it worked like that. So, well, do it. Propose solution rather than problems. I think it's not only within ERN, but of course, if you arrive with many problems and only problems and without any proposals, it's much more difficult than to arrive with some solutions to say, okay, we would like to do that. We can give you this type of support. We know many people from here. That is why this project has been made in few months, because our friend from Italy, for example, had a very strong network locally, and because within the ERN we work together, and we gave some solutions and not many problems. Of course, there is also problems, but we have to consider them after. Yes, to use your links with local and medical scientific teams. Clearly, the concrete organization is crucial because you can manage to do that very far away from you, but it's much more difficult. You have to work with the local medical scientific teams, but it means you have to involve them from the beginning of the project, and that's why you have done with a clinician from Roma, and after that, of course, they work internally. For example, the one of the clinician who is also a professor has invited in one or two topics some students because he thought it was interesting and relevant. Yes, it was very important as well to do that. Make impact a truly united community on as many issues as possible. Yes, that's what I said just before. The patient advisory board is made of several patient representatives from several organizations representing several diseases, sometimes very different diseases. But we are a community. We are belonging to the neuromuscular diseases community. So it's important to consider it and not to consider only that you are strictly on your pathology. It's important. I'm living with a peripheral neuropathy, of course, but first of all, I belong to a more global representation. Is it the Eiffel Tower? This is the Eiffel Tower.
And I take it from him, Jean-Philippe. Thanks for that. So when I was preparing this presentation with Jean-Philippe, that, as I've told you, I was trying to get him to formalize everything that they had done and to see how it could fit into the patient partnership framework. We said, okay, let's do a final slide where we can wrap up everything so that people can understand why is this a good practice. And by the way, my colleague Andrea Sembrero has prepared a very short fact sheet where we describe the criteria that we are going to use to select good practices on patient partnership in the ERNs. So it is a good practice, first of all, because as Jean-Philippe has just explained, throughout the activity, they were observing all the principles for a healthy partnership. So I mean, actually, it was 9 out of 9 that were present. So they had there was a continuous involvement of both clinicians and patients. There was transparency. Clinicians and patient representatives were transparent about their knowledge gaps, and they distributed accordingly the tasks. There was mutual respect. There was an opening for learning. There was a learning approach, teamwork, of course. Clarity of roles and responsibilities, which is a very important aspect, so that everyone knows what he or she needs to do and is expected to do. Professionalism, meaning everyone delivered, so everyone was committed from the beginning to the end, and shared leadership. And then, as Jean-Philippe has explained on the engagement approaches, this is an example of co-creation from the beginning until the end. So they were really working together from beginning to end. This is not the engagement approaches. We will have other webinars to illustrate how different engagement approaches can work depending on what's the objective of the task at hand. So it's not necessarily always that you need to have co-creation. Sometimes consulting patients is fine and is what you need to do. The enablers, let's say the facilitators, things that were there that kind of facilitated this good practice and to deliver the program. The culture in the ERN. So Jean-Philippe has mentioned it several times in this webinar. The ERN coordinator is very supportive of patient involvement, and she understands patient partnership as being an asset for the network. Of course, the fact that Jean-Philippe himself is the chair of the ERN educational board is something very positive and has possibly facilitated lots of things. And then the ERN coordinating team and the Italian healthcare providers were really helping with logistics. So that is something that is very heavy sometimes, and the patient representatives and the clinicians didn't need to take care of that. There was someone else taking care of that. The next one.
We can add in it, we talk about the educational board, but also the PAB that I mentioned several times as well, and also the peripheral neuropathies working group shared by a clinician, in which you can find many neurologists, many clinicians, but also patient organization. We are mainly 3 European organizations within this peripheral neuropathies group. So there are clearly enablers on this type of project, and more widely on the capacity that we can develop together to work together.
Okay. Super. And then finally, as part of the enablers, patient representatives had a good knowledge of their community needs, and they used this knowledge to shape the content of the course. So this is important that in your patient group, you have the competencies to capture, to collect the needs and to analyze them and have a good understanding of what these needs are. Then one of the other things that Jean-Philippe has stressed, and he has highlighted this to me since the beginning, is that they were really pragmatic and very flexible in their working approach with the clinicians. So they were really working collaborating as a team, let's say. And then, of course, finally, last but not least, they had the financial support from the ERN. I think that this is it. This is the final, yeah.
Yes. Maybe just to thank you, Ines. Maybe just to thank the coordination team of ERN-MD, because they do a great job all the year as well, and the way we work together is very important. So from the coordination to the coordination team, I don't want to forget everybody, but Eike, Elisabeth, of course, all the team Uda now, and all the people are very, very helpful, and François from the PIB as well, David Paresan from the peripheral neuropathies group. So clearly this is a community who want to do its best for patients. So